Daniel.
All right, and
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Haunted Live. It seems like it was a huge success. I've got with me here the Tennessee Wraith Chasers themselves. Guys, everybody's kind of losing it over what all went on in Mary's room. What can you tell me about that?
Man, Mary's room was very active. It seems like she showed up tonight. She showed up down in the winter kitchen.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she was telling us, hey, I'm here and I'm protected.
A lot of people want to know more about the portal thing you were using that was bringing out the voice. What can you tell us about that? Who wants to go?
Go ahead, Porter.
Get it, Porter. Come on now.
You know, the portal device, each one of those, they're manufactured differently and they're very exclusive to how they wire those things up. But what it does is it takes the sound and it moves it through and it uses that energy to generate words that come out of the reverb.
Right.
And so the spirits use that to communicate with us. And it's a lot cleaner than something that's scanning radio stations.
Right.
So sometimes what you do is you get full-blown, intellectual interaction, conversations come through those things.
And I think you got that tonight.
We did. That's what I was getting ready to say, is when we asked if Mary was there, it said Mary's here, and it also said fire. So that was directly related to Mary and how she died here at the house.
I got chills when that happened. I got chills again just you bringing it up. A lot of people want to know what about the Octagon Hall immediately kind of pinged on y'all's radar to want to come here and do this investigation.
Well, you know, it's got a lot of tragedy here. Obviously, Mary Elizabeth tragically died with fire. I mean, down there in the winter kitchen. Also, it was a hospital during the Civil War. Anytime you got that type of juju going on, we usually have some lingering souls here. So, I mean, for us, I mean, it doesn't get much better than Octagon Hall.
And then you also have the energy that the war and the death, it kind of has this energy that it leaves, I believe.
Absolutely. I was in there earlier, and there's lots of places where they were hiding Confederate soldiers, that kind of thing. Like, so much happened here. What kind of directed you guys to choose the 4 rooms you did to set up the live feeds?
That's where the majority of the history from Edward the Soldier, where he was hiding and passed up in the attic. Mary Elizabeth's room, she was burned in the winter kitchen in the basement.
Right.
And then from what we hear is that she passed in her bedroom, which I thought was cool tonight, is she obviously felt comfortable with you enough, because if she said 13, which is ballpark of her age, you know, who knows her age better than she does probably.
Yeah.
And then to follow you up to her bedroom, where again, it's comfortable for her to be in her bedroom and comfortable enough to follow you up. And then it seemed like from where I was sitting there, like you had some on-command meter activity, which is very cool.
One of the other things people were wanting to know about is kind of how you felt inside. Were there temperature variations? Did you feel like a heaviness? Did anything like that happen to any of you guys in the house?
We wish there was a temperature.
There's been a temperature drop, that's for sure. I mean, we were up there wringing wet with sweat, you know?
Yeah.
But there was a heaviness when we walked down into
the basement,
to the winter kitchen.
Yeah.
It was just like you could just feel this just heaviness on your chest, and it seems like that kind of lifted as we went up to Mary's room.
Right.
It was almost like that went away.
And kind of like as she got comfortable with you guys.
Exactly.
There was
almost
even there was a vibration. I know you felt it. Yeah, just a little bit around the bed when we were sitting there trying to communicate with Mary or the spirit of the dark entity. It seemed like the floor kind of shook a little bit, which was crazy.
A lot of the fans following us on Facebook Live and Twitter saw movement in that room.
Now, I don't know how many places like this you've been into, but earlier today he was telling me when he first went into the building, he's like, man, I started feeling this heaviness on my chest. And he went upstairs.
Jesse and I went into a room that I'd actually been into earlier and didn't feel anything. And when we walked in there, it felt like I was out of breath, like I could barely breathe. Yeah. And I look at Jesse and he's like, dude, you feel that? Like we both felt it. It's like the pressure dropped through the floor, like I did not need to be in that room.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's really funny about you go on a location like this. I mean, you go in separate, you have similar stories. That lets you know that there's some kind of confirmation there that energy is so strong and so heavy, because Brandon and I had the same thing when we walked in. We talked about it before we went up the steps. You guys felt it, you felt it beforehand. That kind of energy in one place like this, and you think about everything that's happened out here on these grounds, I mean, that's like Jesse said, I mean, it's just a supernatural energy feast right here.
And especially what we're all talking about, it's something that feels mobile. Like it was in the room one minute, it wasn't the next. Like it's moving around.
It's very transient.
Yes.
It can move from floor to floor, room to room. It's all over this place.
One question from me is, how big a difference is it for you guys filming this live as opposed to the other shows you've done in the past?
It's a lot quicker.
It's quicker. That hour went really quick.
Wow.
For me.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys.
It didn't even seem like an hour.
Do you wish you could spend way more time in there?
Yes.
Well, you know, these things they don't react on command. You know, they're gonna react on their time. So a lot of times you have to go in and kind of get them warm up to them, kind of make that connection so that they'll want to communicate with you. Let them know that you don't mean them harm.
Yep.
And so, you know, once you build that rapport, you can get that interaction. Here, we had to do that quickly. And so I think we did that, and we got that rapport with Mary and possibly with Edward too.
As I've said before, These things aren't trick ponies.
No.
They're just like we are, just in a different realm. And when you come in and you start throwing these commands out, they're gonna be like, away with you.
Coming into today, that's something I was worried about, but man, you guys really got them comfortable. You guys got them out there. We saw so much. Before we go, I want to know, how can people follow you guys online? Facebook, Twitter, all that.
Oh, well, we got TennesseeRayChasers.com. You can hit our site. Everybody's on all social. Everybody's on Facebook. Everybody's on Twitter, Instagram. It's at Porter TWC, Chris TWC, Doogie TWC, Brandon, Mike TWC.
And it's TN Rape Chasers, right?
TN
On Twitter?
TN Ray Chasers on Twitter.
All right, and you can follow me at Peppermint Fatty. Guys, thank you so much. I'm
What is it?
excited.
What is that? Yeah, hold on, whoa.
Rewind that.
Oh, I am Peppermint Fatty with an F because I am red, white, and round.
man.
Love it, brother. Guys, thank you so much for everything. I'm really excited that you allowed me to be a part of this, and I'm so excited to be back here next week and for the next 9 weeks.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you,
man.
man.
Appreciate
See you guys next week.
Peace out. Love you.
Oh, my arm was gonna.
Yeah.
Hey, gentlemen, if y'all could.
Get out.
Love you.
Oh, this is yours. Or is that mine?